Cultures come in all shapes and sizes. In Stella Toomey's observations of different cultures, she discusses how the differences in values, thoughts, beliefs, and ideas essentially form the two main classifications, individualistic and collectivistic. Individualistic places the individual needs first, and collectivistic places the group needs first. I've been fortunate enough to have traveled to several different countries and to have experienced their many different cultures. However, I'd like to share with you another culture that, in my opinion, is a wonderful example of both individualistic and collectivistic in nature. And I'm willing to guess that all of you in this classroom right now, at one time or another, have been a part of this culture. My name is Alec Lucas, and I'd like to share with you the culture I've experienced most in my life, and that is the sports culture. Sports has a great combination of using both individualistic and collectivistic cultures to be successful. And in my opinion, a culture that is based solely on one or the other is not going to be as strong as a culture that thrives with a good balance of the two. As we all know, sports teams by nature are made up of many, many different individuals, players, coaches, trainers, and so on. Individuals that perform predefined tasks using skills honed from years of experience that they have shown to be highly proficient at. Skills that will give their team the best opportunity of being successful in the future. Sports teams collectively need team goals in order for everyone to have an overall focus. These goals, for example, can be to win the conference or to be ranked in the top 10. Goals for a team can only be accomplished as a collective unit. Individualism and collectivism in sports, however, can be broken down into somewhat smaller groups that are still focused on the team's overall success. Having individual goals in team sports is very common. These types of goals, being individual in nature, do not have a direct relationship to the collective success of the team. Goals like these are very statistics-based and easily measured. A lacrosse midfielder may set goals to have a very high on-goal shooting percentage or to have a certain number of assists at the end of the year. Another trait of the individual member of a team sport is that in the upper levels of sports, typically starting with high school, is that these athletes can be labeled self-starters. Their desire to be the best they can be has them doing the extra things that separate them from the non-high achieving athletes. Things like doing extra work in the gym, additional practice shooting, and conditioning. Private lessons that help the player enhance their skills is often another avenue that individual players use to have continuous improvement. Having a coach that can teach the subtle nuances to improve your game is almost a necessity in sports. A good example of this is a football quarterback getting lessons to improve things like his throwing motion and ability to read defenses. As a D1 lacrosse player, I was asked by many parents of younger players, as well as some of my coaches, to conduct lessons. Being the person doing the teaching gave me a unique perspective that made me realize if you're going to be successful as you can be, then you should be able to teach it as well as be able to learn it. It will also show you if you have areas that you need to improve on. Recruiting camps are another opportunity that many athletes take advantage of once they have attained a certain level of ability and proficiency. If your desire is to play lacrosse at a collegiate level, then camps like these are where you go. You spend a week working with college coaches who earn their living coaching the sport, and you have an opportunity to show yourself to the very same coaches. You have all probably heard the saying, all for one and one for all. Well, team goals are exactly that. They are goals that are decided on by the entire team. Goals of teams that I've been a part of, for example, were to win our division or win the state championship. In essence, you can say that the performance of the team outweighs any individual's performance. A tremendous benefit that comes from playing for a team is learning to be coachable and learning to work in a group and take direction. It goes without saying that if all players on a team did their own thing, that being successful would be virtually impossible. You can't have a bunch of people doing their own thing and expect success. You have to learn to be coachable, take direction, so the team can have the best opportunity to meet their goals. Inside a team, there are smaller, collectivistic subgroups that are based on positions. For example, positions like the offense, the defense, the coaching staff, and even the special teams. Each one of these subgroups working together to aid in the success of the overall team. Other things that help mold a team into a cohesive unit are team building activities. For example, team dinners or field trips. These activities help enhance on-field trust and communication amongst team members. An athlete will tend to work and play harder for a teammate that they have gotten to know and trust versus one they don't know as well. Summer teams, otherwise known as select teams, are put together by special invitation and are assembled to go to very high-level tournaments across the nation. These teams are made up of some of the best players from your local area. The cool part is, you get to stay in college dorms and play alongside people that you competed against in the regular season in your hometown area. Throughout my team sports activities experience, I've learned that the more successful a team is has a direct correlation to the individual success that each team member has achieved. A team made up of players who don't have their own personal goals and don't work hard to improve will result in a team that is not as successful as a collective unit. Winners like to associate with other winners. In my opinion, in order for a team to be successful, there needs to be an equal effort put into developing the individualistic and collectivistic side of the team. Think of a team like a 10-foot chain. Without strong individual links that work together to create one piece, how do you expect a chain to stay connected? A weak link can destroy even the greatest of teams. The desire for an individual to better their collective team can also be seen in the working world. Many of the same traits that an individual might possess as an athlete can also be seen in the workplace. Individuals are hired to perform certain tasks and duties in order to earn their salary, and these tasks and duties definitely at one point in time will include working with a group. Collectively, the departments in a company are made up of those individuals who work towards their department's goals as a team. Just as athletic teams have their own goals, similarly, departments in a company have goals that they wish to attain. The attainment of those goals will result in the company being more successful and profitable versus losing money and, in some severe cases, closing the doors for good. Additionally, through my exposure to the individualistic and collectivistic cultures in sports, I've realized that I've become a better communicator. I've learned to respect and value the viewpoints of others and also to not be afraid to share my ideas and feelings. Valuable skills that I know will migrate from the sports field to the working world.